I hope everybody had a great 2 weeks. Very sorry that we missed last week. I know that one was expected. The one before that was a planned skip week. So I apologize to everybody who came last week to the show and wasn't there. I was sicker than I've been sick in a long time, and there was absolutely no way my voice was going to hold up long enough to do the Q&A. So I appreciate that. I did post, I know a lot of people are like, hey, is there Q&A? What's happening? I did post a message on the Facebook page. You go to the community tab, it was there, or on the YouTube page, and on Twitter in my coughing hacking days. I forgot to put it on Facebook. I'll try to put it on Facebook next time too if I have to cancel a Q&A. But I really appreciate everybody who showed up and was like, hey, where are you? Unfortunately, I just was unbelievably sick, more than I can ever imagine. So let's hope that that cold is long gone. 2 weeks ago, I did have a great, had a little minor surgery. That's why I wasn't here 2 weeks ago. So after 2 weeks, we're back again. It's great to have everybody here. Let's talk all things cord cutting and hopefully help you save some money and get the most out of your cord cutting experience. So let's dive into it. A lot of news this week, a lot of changes, new streaming players on the market. And speaking of which, we are giving away a Roku Ultra. This is the 2018 Roku Ultra. There's a link to the giveaway down in the show notes down below if you want to enter the giveaway. We also have coffee mugs. Everybody's been asking, hey, Luke, when are you going to get coffee mugs? We got these. They're $10.99 plus shipping. Down in the show notes down below, if you want to check that out. Again, we have coffee mugs and a Roku Ultra up for giveaway. Links in the show notes. So just putting this in the last place on Facebook, and then we're going to dive into all the questions here, and we'll see what we get into, what kind of trouble we cause today. All right, here we go. Nelfie, Tom, Ruba, everybody. It's great to see some of you here. Josh, Richard, Chris, great to see you all here. Thank you so much for the kind words. Really appreciate it. And it's great to know everybody missed me last week. And hopefully, barring any severe colds that pop up out of nowhere, I have my flu shot, so we should be good. Knock on wood. We shouldn't miss any other Q&As until maybe Christmas. Knocking on some wood. We'll see what happens. Have I heard about Sky Streaming TV? What do I think? Sky Stream TV is just a reseller. Omniverse is the parent company. I actually posted an interview with that parent company's CEO I had, or the results of the interview, last week Saturday. If you want to read about that, you go to Cord Cutters News and find it back there. The short end of it is it does appear to be legal. It does appear to be using some type of very rare contract to make that happen, but they seem to have all the legal rights. And as best I can tell, no one's suing to try to stop them. They're very public. Everybody knows who the company is. There's an address. There's a physical location. There's executives, board of directors, and more. So keep that in mind. It's actually the company behind SkyStream TV is actually the same company that's powering the HD Home Run streaming service. So if you have an HD Home Run and you subscribe to their live TV streaming service, it's actually the exact same streaming service, but with a different user interface on it. So just keep that in mind. Could we learn something funky about it later on? Possible, but everything points in the right direction. Credible companies in the United States are partnering with them, so we'll keep a close eye on it. Again, more details or Cord Cutters News in my interview of the Omniverse parent company that's behind SkyScream and HD Home Run and Tiki and all kinds of other ones. Hello, Corey and Larry. It's good to see you there. Are Discovery channels still getting their own streaming service? Yes, according to the CEO of Discovery, they are still planning on launching their own streaming service. $5 or $6 seems to be the target starting price. It will probably have multiple tiers. When that will come, we don't know. They say they'll do it when the timing is right. What does that mean? Does that mean tomorrow? Does that mean by the end of 2018? Does that mean 2020? We just don't know. But they are still talking and they're still working as best we can tell on it. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. Hey, it's great to see everybody here. A ton of new people just came in. Again, an apology for last weekend. I was sicker than I've been sick in a long time. Had just that nasty cold. And there was no way I was going to be able to talk for an hour. So I did post on Twitter. I did put in the community tab here on our YouTube page. So youtube.com/CordCuttersNews. Click on the community. And I'll try to remember next time I put it on Facebook. I was just so sick I couldn't remember. So apologize about missing that last week. He says, Luke, what are your thoughts on YouTube's outage last night? YouTube has been so consistent that when they were out for a little over an hour. Great traffic on the site, by the way. Tons of people are coming to read the news story about that. I think it got so much attention because it's so rare. YouTube has been so unbelievably reliable for the last 10 years that an outage for an hour got a lot of attention. The reality is, if you think about it, over the course of the year, YouTube has been down maybe 1% of the time. Probably not even adds up to 1%. So overall, it's still extremely likely that it's very reliable and not going to go down again. And we don't know what caused the outage. So that's really all I can say. All right, what's your thoughts on Tiki TV? Well, Tiki TV again is just a reseller of Omniverse. It's all these companies are just fronts or reselling under their brand name, and they're basically exactly the same everything, sometimes with slightly different user interfaces. What are my thoughts on Plex? Do you think it's worth it to get the desktop to rip DVDs and stream them all out? I would say nowadays it's probably not a lot of use to do that unless there's a DVD you really use. I love Plex. I think Plex is great. I actually quite a few years ago went and took all of our old VHS tapes and connected them and recorded them all to digital files and put them on Plex and set it up so my parents and everybody else can log into my media server and watch our old home videos. Even my old summer camp memory videos, I found those in the bottom there and I digitalized them. So there are a lot of great benefits of Plex. Plex is a great media server. It's probably one of the easiest, best ones to use. Their OTA DVR, if you want to use it for a DVR service, is great. You do need a media server to do that, but it's a great option. What are my thoughts on VidGo? So VidGo first announced several years ago, back when it was just Sling and PlayStation Vue basically, that they were intended to launch a live TV streaming service. Now they're saying this year it's going to happen. They just put their app officially into the Google Play Store and other places. So they're moving in the right direction that they want to launch that. We'll have to wait until we know more. Right now, all they're talking about is Latin packages and Spanish packages. Not Latin, Spanish. My apologies. I can speak English. Still recovering from my cold apparently right now. But they do say a $39 basically English version package to take on Sling TV, DirecTV Now, Hulu, etc. is coming out soon. Luke, does anyone know what caused the YouTube outage last night? No, we don't. It was out for a little over an hour, and we don't know what caused. Very rarely do they say, often because the outage isn't typically their problem. A lot of times it happens something in a partner, and instead of embarrassing a partner saying like, hey, this company screwed up, they just don't say anything. Luke, do you know why YouTube TV isn't showing NBA League Pass for free like other services are? I don't know. That's kind of one of those internal partnership things. Like Sling TV has it for free. It's free through NBA League Pass, but I guess YouTube TV is not doing that. Paul, I do not know that service. I have no information about it, to be honest with you. My thing though is the way in a quick 30-second Google, with most of these the videos and stuff talking about how you sideload it and it's an IPTV and all this, it does raise a lot of red flags if it's not in official app stores of Roku and Fire TV, etc. So yeah, that's would be my recommendation is to if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. 2, if it's not in official app stores, it's very questionable to me. When will Hulu get Hallmark? We don't know. We don't know. They haven't said they're even in talks to do it. Luke, what will Tubi TV, Pluto, and VR do with the Drama Fever content now that they shut down? Well, I don't know. That's a good question. AT&T still owns the rights. The likelihood here is it continues. Because just because Drama Fever is shut down, the contract deals they have with Tubi, Pluto, and others, I'm not very familiar with them. I don't know the details, but that will likely continue. And since the data is probably still being hosted by Tubi and others, it doesn't affect anything. So I would expect it to continue there without any changes. So keep an eye on, or keep that in mind, I should say. Hey, if you have a question, let me know. But don't forget, we're giving away a Roku Ultra 2018 Roku Ultra. It's actually at the office. I don't have it with me here to show you. But if you go over to corecarsnews.com, I have a link right in the show notes to make it easy. We are giving away a Roku Ultra 2018, and it comes with the new JBL headsets. All the details there to enter the giveaway is in the show notes down below. Also, a lot of people have asked over the years, could you buy a Core Cars News coffee mug like the one my wife gave me for Christmas a few years ago? Yes, they are available in the show notes. They're $10.99 each plus shipping. What am I drinking today? I'm drinking some Earl Grey tea today. As I said, I'm still kind of coming over this cold that I got last Wednesday. So it's a tea kind of day today. When will NBA blackout restrictions end? Probably when the next contract negotiations happen, something like 2022, 2023. I'm not sure when. Just keep that in mind. John says sometimes even illegal apps sneak into the official app stores. Yes, but they typically don't last long. So keep that in mind. That, just typically though the illegal ones aren't in there. So that's always kind of one of those red flags. If something sounds too good to be true, you have to sideload it. It's not available on the official app stores. That is a red flag. What are your thoughts on Hulu's Skinny or bundles that remove some of the live channels to go on demand? So Hulu did talk about the idea that they are looking at the idea of maybe offering skinnier bundles for even cheaper, like a news package or a sports package with some on-demand stuff. So keep that in mind. That you never know what they're going to do. Now, Hulu kind of called me after our story went live on that. We reported the story that somebody else reported on, and was like, well, we're not really working on it. We're just talking about it. So keep that in mind. There's a difference between working on it and considering it, which is the wording they used. So we updated our story, say, from working to considering, just to be clear on all that. So keep that in mind. So yes, Corey, Michigan State Week, go blue. My dad will be at the game. Last time it was at Michigan State, I was at the game. That was a lot of fun. Took my dad out there for his birthday, actually, and had a ball. Unfortunately, this year I am unable to go, but go blue. It should be a fun game no matter what. Luke, do you see blackouts in live sports going away in the future? Slowly, it's been happening. Each year, more and more restrictions are lifting. More and more flexibility is happening. Not going to happen overnight, but yeah, I do see a day where blackouts are removed. When will DirecTV now have a West Coast feed? For what channels? I want to say some of the channels have it, but not all. Just keep that in mind. Yes, NBA's League Pass is free on Sling TV until sometime next week, I believe. It's a free trial. It's an extended free trial, one of the longest I've ever seen them do. So keep that in mind. Thanks, Josh. I think I may have just upset a bunch of people that showed a Michigan ball, but hey, that's life. Who has the best DVR? That kind of depends on what you want. Some people are like, I want to record everything, and I don't care how long it stays. So, like PlayStation View, YouTube's a great option. Other people tell me, hey, there's some stuff I want to record, and I never want it deleted. And that's where like Sling TV comes into benefit there, because it doesn't automatically delete it. So keep that in mind. That it really depends on what your use case is. And I don't think there's a wrong answer there. Just keep that in mind. Luke, is T-Mobile crazy for saying that their 5G will kill off ISPs like Comcast Charter? They may not do it single-handedly, but everybody else will definitely put a great pinch on services like Comcast and Spectrum and more. Comcast and Spectrum have gone away with really having no competition for years now. And now that competition is rolling out, T-Mobile says half of Charter and half of Comcast, basically, they'll be offering 5G in multiple markets over the next 5 years. Well, Verizon's going to do the same. AT&T's going to do the same. Dish is going to do the same. Heck, even Charter is trying to launch 5G in Comcast markets. So competition's coming. Competition means some of the more aggressive things they've done in the past, they won't be able to do now. Keep that in mind. MyTube, is Nitro legal? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I'm not familiar with the service, but that tends to really work out in the end. Has YouTube mentioned when they'll expand into more cities? No, YouTube has not said anything about plans to expand, add new channels, or do new features. YouTube really doesn't announce much, honestly. Even when they roll out to new towns, like if Sling or DirecTV Now or Hulu does this, I get a nice little press release. Sometimes I even get an early heads up. When YouTube does it, I either have a reader tell me about it, or maybe they may sometimes, not always, put it on their YouTube account. So just keep that in mind. Where's my Core Cars News Cup? It is right here. I'm finding the tail end of a cold though, so I'm drinking some tea, and this is just not big enough for what I need today. So I went with the bigger. Actually, speaking of Michigan, for all my Michigan fans out there, there we go. But needed something a little bit bigger today for the tea to get me through the Q&A today. Still kind of fighting the voice a little bit. So just keep that in mind. YouTube TV is nationwide now. Not true. YouTube TV is still not in a few markets. It's rare, unless they did something today. Was there something this week I missed? Did YouTube TV roll out additional markets and no one told me? But no, it's from my understanding still not nationwide. What do you think about Fubo TV? I think Fubo TV is a great service. I do think the lack of ESPN hurts them a lot. They're the first live TV streaming service to offer 4K. They will have like the MLB finals and most of the playoff games streaming in 4K on their service. That's a great deal there. And they have a lot of new and nice features. It's a very reliable service. You don't really hear about it going down ever. So just, it's good. I wish it had YouTube or ESPN. I hear it's anywhere from $10 to $20 a month to carry the Disney channels if you want ESPN. And that's a lot of money. It just is. And Fubo's probably saying that's just not worth it for us, to be honest with you. Tony, you like any team that beats Ohio State? Well, we can be friends. That. No. Yeah, big football fan. Love it. You know, the best thing about being sick sometimes on a weekend, there is no reason not to sit on the couch and watch football from morning to night. When you are sick, there really is no reason not to. So I had a lot of fun with that. So it was a lot of fun. Is 8K coming next year? Well, 8K is already out. There's already TVs selling in 8K. They're crazy expensive. There's already 8K content. It's kind of rare. I'm interested to see. I think for most people, the jump from HD to 4K wasn't enough. It wasn't until they released HDR that people really started saying, wow, that's a noticeable difference that I want to go get that. So I'm interested to see if the people out there will jump on 8K. Is 8K from 4K HDR better enough to make people go buy a new TV? I know when HD came out, and I saw that, I was like, wow, that's a better picture that I can notice. When 4K came out, I was kind of like, yeah, well, that's okay. I don't really notice a big difference. When 4K HDR came out, I said, that's something right there. 4K HDR, that's a visible, to me, that's a visible change that I can justify going to spend the money on. Is 8K going to be that jump? I haven't seen that yet, to be honest with you. I just haven't seen a justification for that. So keep that in mind. We'll see what happens. A lot of Cowboys, Tar Heels, a lot of Hawkeyes, Iowa fans, a little bit of everybody here. Great to see all the sports fans here. Like I said, nothing like being sick on a Saturday with no excuse but to watch college football. Any idea if Apple will integrate into TVs like Roku? There has been a lot of talks about it. I don't think Apple will ever do what Roku did. Roku basically said, hey, our OS is basically free. Take our OS, build a TV, you make money on that, and you don't have to worry about spending money on the back end of it. So one of the biggest issues with TV has been the fact that the maintenance of the TV is costing companies to lose money in selling TVs. Prices of TVs are coming down, but the cost to keep adding apps, updating the software, and doing more goes up. Roku says we can make money on the software, you make money on the TV. There you go. Apple, I can't ever see them saying, hey, Sharp and Magnavox and TCL and others, go make us a TV. I could see them building their own TV, but reports are they've made several and they just cancel them because it was so expensive. They didn't think they could compete in it. And they didn't think it was, it wasn't better enough to justify what they thought would be a market. They didn't think they could disrupt in the market. Now, could they come out with something they think will disrupt the market? Sure. But I just don't think Apple will ever do what Roku did by allowing other people to make the TV. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. And making TVs is a very low profit business. You make money in TVs by selling millions of them at very small profits, not by selling a handful at very high profit. So we'll see what happens. Luke, what do you think of 4K Apple TV? I think it's a great player. I think it's overpriced, to be honest with you. It's the first Apple TV that you really look at and say, hey, the specs on this are kind of justifying the price a little bit. The Apple TV 4 was actually a slower player than the Roku Ultra was. The Roku Ultra was a far faster player. We're going to look at the specs for a lot less money. I don't think it's a gaming system. You see things like Minecraft dropping support for the Apple TV line because people aren't using it. So it's, as a streaming player, very nice. I think they're missing a mark. They have a very nice hard drive in there. They should set it up so I can, through iTunes, download movies to the hard drive. If I have a data cap, I could watch, my daughter could, Sophia the First, whatever it's called, I could download a whole season of that. I could make stuffings or Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and she could watch that over and over and over again and not count towards my data cap. Or I could download them, take the Apple TV with me, go to a hotel, go to the cottage, go to the camper, wherever, and have everything downloaded and installed. I think Apple is missing out on a gold mine. If they would turn it on so you could download from the Apple iTunes store and save it to the hard drive on the Apple TV and watch it offline, overnight, watch Apple sales just skyrocket. They'll skyrocket. Everybody with a data cap, everybody on satellite internet or any overly aggressive data cap would suddenly be able to use the Apple TV as a great way to get around data cap restrictions. So I think there's a lot of promise there. I just think it's overpriced. I think the lock into the Apple ecosystem has hurt them. They're loosening that a lot, which is helping. But it's kind of, question is it too late or not? In the recent surveys we've done with our readers, it's shown that the growth of the Apple TV has dramatically slowed this year. They went from about 14 to 24%, and then they kind of just stuck at right about 24% market share with cord cutters. Compare that to 70% Roku, and I think it's like almost 40% at Fire TV. I don't have the survey in front of me. It shows that a lot of people own Roku and Fire TV, and the second device is usually a Roku or Fire TV. There's the Apple TV owners, but that market share doesn't seem to be growing. So we'll wait. Is the NVIDIA Shield overpriced? Maybe a little, honestly, yeah. I like it that they are trying to come out with cheaper versions of it. It's actually a very good gaming system with a gaming controller. One of the things I think hurts Apple is not having an official gaming controller. And I'm not sure if they're still doing this, but when they first launched it, if you released a game on the Apple TV, it had to work with the Apple TV remote. You could make it work with third-party gaming controllers, but it also had to be able to be compatible to be played completely only on the Apple TV remote. I think that dramatically reduced the number of games that could be made for it and people willing to make games for it. So that's my thought on the Apple TV. A lot of promise, definitely seeing a lot of growth. I think they're missing out on the ability by not turning on the ability to download episodes directly to their hard drive and store them from iTunes. And I do think, though, they're doing a good job of trying to open up some of their limitations to bring in other apps. They've cut back on some of the requirements and other things that allow things like Sling TV. I don't think people remember, it wasn't that long ago that there was no live TV streaming services on Apple TV until, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think 2 years ago now. The Apple TV did not have any live TV streaming services. There was no Sling, no DirecTV Now, no PlayStation View, no Hulu, etc. So just keep that in mind. Do you think Google will ever make a television? Sure. There's already television with Android TV built in. Sony uses it as their operating system. So they effectively are. Would there ever be a Pixel TV like their Pixel one? Speaking of Pixel, by the way, got the Pixel phone today. Absolutely love this. Way better than my S9. Traded my S9 in, paid the extra $200, got the Pixel. Worth every penny. But would they ever come out with Pixel TV? Maybe. Again, profit margins on TV are very small. With a phone, there's actually a good chunk of profit margin on there. Plus, you make a ton off of apps and ads. With TV, the profit margins are smaller, even on the back end. So Roku and all these are making millions by having millions of TVs sold. Would a high-end Pixel TV or an Apple TV do the same? Would people pay a premium price when you could get a $1,000 Roku TV that has a very good picture out quality on it? Or are you going to pay $3,000-ish for a Apple TV or $5,000-ish, who knows, for a Pixel TV? I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. We have a review on the new Google Home Hub. Maybe. I'd like to take a look at it. I am right in the middle of working on my review of the new Chromecast. Look for that tomorrow. But yeah, we're trying to pump out more and more content. As hopefully my voice comes back to full strength tomorrow. Take a little NyQuil tonight. We'll see what we happen in there. I'm living the huge notch life. Honestly, you really don't notice it when you play around with the notch. Well, Big Bang Theory be part of the new WB streaming service. I think, or AT&T may produce it, but they have a contract with CBS on it. I'm not sure what the rights are there. AT&T's new streaming service with WB and HBO is basically about taking all the back catalog content that they own complete rights to that no one's using and using it. Big Bang Theory has a partner using the rights in CBS, so it would probably be unlikely to be there. KBM, the stuff that usually calls itself IPTV is not legal. There used to be some on Roku, and Roku went and shut them all down, and it seems to pay off for Roku. So Roku was dragged into a lawsuit about illegal third-party apps on the Roku that were basically pirating content in Mexico. Mexican courts banned Roku for, I wanted to say, most of a year, so Roku couldn't sell any of their products in Mexico. Just this week, they won the lawsuit that allowed them to, or won their court case, it wasn't a lawsuit, allowed them to start selling again in Mexico. Part of the reason they won it is because they cracked down severely on pirate apps and said, hey, we've severely made it very difficult to put pirate apps in here. We found pirate apps out there and kicked them off our service, on and on and on. So don't look for Roku to be a piracy service. Locast in Boston has been off for a week and a half. Have you heard anything about that? I have heard a little bit about that. Anybody here in the Houston or Dallas area, any Dallas people here who can go test Locast? I saw some Dallas Cowboy fans earlier. I have reached out to them, and they said they're basically getting back to me on what's happening with that, the Locast outage, but I haven't heard exactly what's happening with it right now. So fingers crossed it happens soon. Any word on the Roku soundbar? What's really not a bar, it's more like two speakers, but we will be having a review of the Roku one when it comes out. It's currently scheduled to come out in November. Can you explain what a TV tuner is and what it does? So a TV tuner, so let me back up. So a TV tuner, what is that? It's what displays the image on your TV. How does it work? So basically you take your antenna. Here's a paperclip I have. This is an antenna. I mean, antenna in the ultimate final form of it is just a chunk of metal. And this picks up everything. This is picking up AM, FM radio. Okay, not very well. It doesn't really do a great job at it. Antennas do some things like the way they're formed, the type of metal they use. There's a lot of things that go into it that make them better at reception. But I take this in and I plug it into the TV. Now the TV's got all the signal. This is a dumb piece of metal. It's just picking up all the radio frequencies. So AM, FM radio, shortwave radio, police radios, cell phone signals, everything. The tuner your TV takes this antenna and says, hey, I'm going to refine this. Let's look at this. What kind of data do I need from this? And it says, okay, I'm going to strip out all the AM, FM signals. I'm going to strip out all the shortwave radio signals it's picking up. And I'm going to tune into the frequency that displays TV channels. And basically what it does is it's a tuner. And by its name, it's a tuner. And what it does is it just says, there's this little bit of frequency that's carrying this TV in this big realm of frequencies. This tiny little frequency here is carrying ABC. And it's going to just zoom in, block out everything but that one frequency. And that's what a TV tuner does. So a tuner, in short, just takes all those signals and then reads out the one you want. So just keep that in mind. I hope that answered your question, what TV tuners are. Why haven't DVD recorders caught on in the United States? Well, they're expensive. DVRs are just better quality, cheaper, and work better. Problem with DVD recorders too is there's a lag with the recording. You can't read and record at the same time. Like with DVR, I can record a show and start watching it from the beginning at the same time. Things you can't do with a DVD recorder. Rewritable DVD discs aren't all that rewritable. Over time, they break down faster. And so it's just cheaper, better to have a DVR. So DVD recorders just never caught on. They are out there. They are used, but they're just not very popular. Hey, there are a ton of questions, a ton of people here today flying by. If I haven't answered your question, re-ask it. I'll do my best to answer them all. Real quick, though, don't forget we do have a giveaway happening right now. Somewhere over here. That is for the Roku Ultra 2018. If you haven't entered that in the show notes down below, we are giving away a Roku Ultra. Click that link, enter the giveaway. We'd love to have you have an opportunity to win that. Also, a lot of people have asked over time, can you buy a Core Cars News coffee mug? Yes. This was a gift from my wife, but you could buy one just like it for $10.99. They are available for sale over at corecarsnews.com. Link in the show notes down below. Hey, I'm going to quickly catch my breath here, but we're going to play an ad, a little 15-second ad. Hang in there. Allow me to catch my breath as I fight off this end of a cold while I fight that off real quick. All right, for everybody who's still here, thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate your support. While I really appreciate everything from all your support out there and everybody who's come out to say, hope your surgery went well, hope you got over your cold. I really appreciate it. But yeah, everything's getting better, healthy. It's just kind of one of those things that takes a little bit of time to get over. All right, should only be a few seconds, and everybody who saw the ad is back. There we go. Everybody's back from the ad. Thanks for watching the ad. Thanks for hanging on. You just help pay the bills, support my family, support some of our employees. What are your thoughts on the new Roku Premiere 4K? It's a nice player. I'm hoping to do some head-to-heads with the sticks soon. But in the end, my thoughts on it are, if you are thinking between the Express and the Premiere, get the Premiere. It's only about $10 more, but it's a much better device. So I would do that. Go get the Premiere instead of the Premiere or the Express. That's my thought on it. If you really want good performance, I would still say the Stick Plus or the Roku Ultra would be the way to go. Thanks, everyone, for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Do you have any details on release date for the Roku OS? For streaming players, it should start rolling out the Roku OS in November. For Roku TVs, I believe they said January. Any word on the YouTube TV outage last night? So no, it was out a little over an hour. They haven't said why. It's not uncommon for services to not comment on what caused it to go out. Often because I find that when we hear, it's usually some other person's problem, a partner that may be in the data center that they were teaming with, or the internet service provider that went to the data center. They were the ones that went out. Instead of being like, hey, this other company sucks, they just say, hey, you know what? We found the issue. We fixed it. It's all over. I probably will never know. So keep that in mind. Richard says DVD recorders are not coming in the States because of piracy concerns. That doesn't make sense because they still sell VHS players. Why would VHS recorders be still being sold, but DVR recorders are not? I don't think that's the case there. What do you think the future of Android TV? Will they create more apps? So, well, Android, Google's, all their devices or services have apps on it. Well, other people. I think the biggest problem with putting apps on Android TVs too, the market share is very small. Hulu basically came out and said, hey, no one uses Android TV, so we're not going to invest the resources into it right now. And that's kind of thing. No one's investing resources into it, so no one's buying them. The market share is quite small. It was like 6th or 7th on our chart when we were looking at, from our readers, what devices do you use? So would that change in the future? It could. I think Google needs to be more serious about it. Like, I don't think Google is all that serious about living room TVs, just to be honest with you. For example, they had a huge press conference, big press conference, announced the Pixel, announced a tablet, announced all kinds of stuff, new Google Home stuff. And what did they do? So the conference ends. I say, oh wow, no Chromecast. We knew the Chromecast was happening, all kinds of stuff. It didn't get any press love. So I posted sort of, hey, no Chromecast sadly today. They didn't say anything during the press conference. About 15 minutes later, at the end, or after the press conference ends, they just quietly, and I do mean super quietly, dropped a press release and put the new Chromecast up for sale on their site. Didn't even give it 30 seconds to say, oh, during the press conference, oh, by the way, hey, glad you loved the tablet, glad you loved the Google Home, glad you loved the new Pixel phone. By the way, new Chromecast available for sale now, 15% faster, check it out, same price. Why not at least say that during the press conference? Over the summer, again, they didn't say they had a big press conference. There was some Android TV developments about new software updates. Nothing during a press conference. At a little breakout group later in the day, they kind of talked about Android TV. It just feels like Google doesn't care that much about Android TV or Chromecast. Honestly, at some point, they need to make a decision. We're going to focus on Chromecast or we're going to focus on Android TV. If I was an Android TV maker, I would be very upset at Google because I kind of feel like they're abandoning these people like NVIDIA and Sony, and the list goes on and on. So keep an eye out for that. But does it have a bright future? It could. It just needs Google to kind of back it up more. What do I think about TiVo? TiVo's great DVR. Very nice. Kind of pricey. I still think they're a little overpriced on it, to be honest with you. I do think that they have the ability to become a very successful player or future in the cord cutting realm. I like it that they're paying attention to it. They're making dedicated devices. I wish they would find a way to be more price competitive, but we'll see. They have a name brand. People will buy them because of the name brand. Is PlayStation Vue dying? It's struggling. It's not dying. So a lot of people got really upset at me last week. So earlier this summer, investors called for PlayStation Vue to shut down. It's not making money. It's lagging behind services that came out long after them. There's a debate. They may have even lost subscribers, depending on which reports you look at. They may have gained slightly or lost slightly. The truth is their growth is well behind what their competitors are doing, no matter what way you look at it. The loss of a lot of locals did hurt them. I think that was a big part of it. Of course, they lost the Viacom channels. I think the big thing that hurt them with their readers is how they handled that situation. I think it was Tribune. It was either Tribune or Sinclair. When those locals left, they only gave people a few hours notice. So an email went out at 10 o'clock Eastern that said, hey, tomorrow morning, by the way, all your DVR recordings are gone. Your locals are going to be gone. Tough luck. Good luck. They could have handled that better, just to be honest with you. So I reported on last week because there was a new call by some analysts to say, hey, YouTube TV or PlayStation Vue is getting killed by YouTube TV, Hulu. PlayStation Vue has somewhere between 500,000 and 700,000 subscribers. Hulu already has over 1 million. YouTube TV rumored to have over 1 million. DirecTV Now probably over 2 million. Sling TV over 2 million. The list goes on and on. Heck, Fubo TV has doubled in size in a year. So you see growth like that, and then you look at PlayStation Vue, where some people say it has gone up slightly. Some people say it's actually gone down slightly. Hey, maybe it's time to shut it down. So I came out with basically 3 things I thought would save PlayStation Vue. There's 3 things I think that PlayStation Vue could do to turn their service around and become one of the best live TV services out there. I know people think it already is, but in terms of the general public, people who don't use it, and in terms of subscriber numbers. So the 3 things are: change the name, get rid of PlayStation Vue. Actually, I've had employees, people who've worked in the company who said, I thought you needed a PlayStation Vue to use PlayStation Vue. I was talking to a friend just this week. We were talking, she goes, oh, it looks like, looking at your chart, it looks like PlayStation Vue has all the channels we want, but we don't own a PlayStation. I was like, well, good. You don't need a PlayStation to use it. And she didn't know that. And then there's a lot of almost every week it seems like I have that conversation with people. You don't need a PlayStation View to get, or don't need a PlayStation to use PlayStation View. I think calling it View TV or Sony View would solve that problem. You get to continue the goodwill of the brand of View, but I think overnight they would see their new subscribers triple, probably. Maybe not triple, but it would dramatically increase. I think improving their PR. PlayStation View is notoriously very difficult to get email responses from. They don't really like to send out press releases when they're doing stuff. I think PlayStation View could do a lot better job of communicating with press so that I can give you better coverage. People are like, oh, you should write about PlayStation View more often. It's like, well, is there some news I didn't cover? And that's kind of the problem, is they're not making a lot of news. And I think they could do a better job of just keeping their name in the news. Sling TV's always been really good at that. DirecTV now has been pretty good at that. Hulu's actually been really good at trying to keep their name in the news out there. Lastly, creating channels of communication solely dedicated for PlayStation View. You want to tweet at PlayStation View, you have to tweet at their gaming at PlayStation account. So what you get here, if you're not a gamer, you're getting all this gaming news with every now and then, maybe a little PlayStation View news. They really need dedicated PlayStation View channels, social media, and more, so that when people want to learn about PlayStation View, they can go there and see it without having to listen to the latest Call of Duty game news. So those are the three things. I don't hate PlayStation View. I think they're making major mistakes. I do. I think the name is a major mistake. The way they're marketing, heck, you've seen their latest TV commercials. Most of them end with the idea of pushing the idea that you don't need a PlayStation to use PlayStation View. All their money they're spending on marketing the idea that you don't need a PlayStation to use PlayStation View could be money they're marketing to try to attract people, to show why they're better than Sling, DirecTV Now, Hulu. Instead of doing all that, they're going out there and they're just trying to convince you that you don't need a PlayStation. So if PlayStation View fails, it's all on PlayStation. Their failure is their naming and their marketing. Now, you don't believe me that there is some push for this? Earlier this summer, PlayStation or Sony's president came out and said, for now, they don't intend to get rid of PlayStation View because the data from it is useful for them. The question is, how long will data from PlayStation View and what people are watching cover the fact that it's losing a lot of money? So it's never made money according to multiple reports. And even Sony kind of hinted at that earlier. So they are doing a lot of things. They've added some channels. They brought back both Sinclair and Tribune locals, most of them. And they really are making strides forward. Now I really do just think they need to change the name. So just to be clear for all the PlayStation View fans out there, because I hear you, he hates PlayStation View. How dare he write about what can save PlayStation View? I don't hate PlayStation View. The reality is, though, they're not growing like their competitors are. They're trailing behind in growth compared to a lot of people right now. It may be great for you, but they're failing to convince people that their service is what people should sign up for. And I think the name is a big part of that. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Am I wrong? What do I think of the new Connors TV show on ABC? Is it good or bad in your opinion? I didn't watch it. Was just busy yesterday, honestly. Took the wife out to dinner. Now, early numbers show it's down. I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see where the Connors be in a month. A lot of people, I think, watched it yesterday because they wanted to see what was going to happen. Well, what happened to Roseanne? I'm interested to see what's going to happen 3 months from now. Will it get another season? I don't know. We'll see what happens. With Amazon and Netflix, people sell for that. Magic, I'm not sure I understand your question. Do you think Hulu will offer the NFL Network? Possible, but they haven't said anything about doing that. So far, everybody says they agree with me. Let me know. I don't hate PlayStation View. I think it's a great option for a lot of people. I think they need to do a better job PR. I think they need to change the name. I think they need to communicate with people directly, not through their gaming channels. I think one of the worst things they do is they publish some of the biggest news on PlayStation View on their gaming blog, on their gaming Twitter account. If you're not a gamer, you're not following that. Yes, I did hear about the PlayStation or the PlayStation View, or excuse me, PlayStation View, the YouTube outage. I was actually one of the first news organizations to cover it. Beat all kinds of bigger ones out there. Some of them by quite a few times. So did hear it. We don't know what caused it. Was out for a little over an hour. What's the best streaming service for offering NFL Network? Sling TV is the cheapest. Fubo TV is another cheapest option. DirecTV Now is a good option. Does not include NFL Red Zone though. With Sling TV, you can get what you want cheaper with NFL Red Zone. I feel like I'm forbidden. Sling TV, DirecTV Now, Fubo, PlayStation View. That I don't know why I just blanked out on that. But yes, PlayStation View is another option. So what about Sony PlayStation View for a name change? I think you would run into the same issue that if you call it Sony PlayStation View, you're still going to have people who think they need a PlayStation. Sony PS View just doesn't have a great ring to it. Sony View TV or Sony View, I think, has a great ring to it. PlayStation View doesn't market towards older non-gamer market. Well, if that's their decision, it seems like gamers aren't jumping on the service so crazy, as they only have between 5 and 700,000 subscribers. They've been out a little, not quite as long, but about the same amount of time as Sling, who is way over 2 million subscribers. Seems like Sling's marketing is paying off better than them. DirecTV Now hasn't been out nearly as long as PlayStation View, already over 2 million. YouTube TV not nearly as long as out as PlayStation View, already over 1 million. This is a hypothetical, but what do you think about Microsoft doing a live TV streaming service? At this point, I almost wouldn't launch another streaming service. We have VidGo, we have Mobile TV, and some others launching. There's 8 major live TV streaming services. There's probably 20 when you look at it all in total. We add in the ones that are about to launch and more. With 20 live TV streaming services, I wrote about this week. There's only so many people who want to stream. The market's only this big, and you're cutting this pie into 20 pieces already. If Microsoft want to launch their own, they could. There's nothing to stop them. Honestly, in 2019, I predict that several live TV streaming services will fold. We've already seen one this year with CenturyLink shutting down their service. There's just more people out there that want live TV. Or excuse me, there's more live TV services than people who want it. It's not a bad thing. If you think about it, in most areas, you have 2 to 4 maybe live TV services. Now you have cable, cable, Dish, DirecTV Now, maybe a Uverse type service out where you live. So there's 4. Add in 20 live TV services. Now you're talking 24-ish TV options. At some point, you got to say is we're cutting the pie too thin. Not all these services can make it. So, excuse me. As I said, still find that cold. 1 second here. Excuse me. Tail end of cold. That just really kicked my butt. But, so look at some shutdown. Does that mean that Microsoft couldn't come in here and dominate? They could. They haven't shown a record of doing that, though. Anybody remember the Zune media player and their media services and all that? It just never really took off. So, I don't know. I'll be hesitant to dump millions of dollars, probably billions when it's all done, instead into a live TV streaming service right now. Do I think Sony would change the name of their service to View TV or anything else other than PlayStation View? No. I think Sony, look at, they took Crackle and they renamed it to Sony Crackle. Sony's on a weird bender, I guess. We call it bender about having their name on everything. Having everything called PlayStation something. Having everything called Sony something. We'll see what they do, but I just think that they're making a huge mistake in the name. If PlayStation View does fold, there will be one sole reason for it: the name, and the name drives the fact that there's bad marketing because they're wasting so much money trying to convince people that they don't need a PlayStation. So just keep that in mind. If PlayStation View folds and shuts down someday, the name is the reason why. I'm not the reason. I know people think I will be the reason that Sony PlayStation View failed. But I don't think calling out the fact that the name is bad, that every week I hear it from people. Just this week, a good family friend said, I wanted PlayStation View. I'd love to get it. It's got the channels I want. It's got the features I want. But it doesn't have, I don't own a PlayStation. It doesn't support my devices. I was like, no, it does. It does. It does support Roku. It does support Fire TV. It does support Apple TV, etc. People just don't know that. They don't understand that. And it's killing them. Hey, if I haven't answered your questions, re-ask it. Will says, is that why Verizon canceled their plans to launch live TV? Yeah, so Verizon did kind of look around and say, hey, there's so many competitors. We're not getting the deals we want. So they decided to partner with somebody instead of launching their own. And YouTube TV was who they partnered with. Yeah, Robert says, just in the in our Facebook group, by the way, Core Kind Tech Support on Facebook, over 44,000 people. Join it. Asked if they need a PlayStation to use PlayStation View. Yeah, it happens all the time. What's the best antenna for locals and DVR? A couple brands. I don't recommend a particular antenna. A couple brands. Mohu, RCA Antennas, Antennas Direct. I'm blanking. There's another one out there. DVRs, Tableau DVR, Channel Master DVR, and TiVo DVR are great options if you want a box to do it. If you have a home media server that you want to build your own, Plex DVR is a very good one on it. HD Home Run's not bad. Again, you need a media server to really take advantage of it. But I find the easiest to use are either the Channel Master and cheapest. TiVo is a very nice one. Streams outside your home. Channel Master only works on one TV per DVR. I think that's their greatest holdup. If Channel Master would offer services that stream outside the home or to multiple devices, they would probably have a larger market share. TiVo is very nice. Again, though, you're paying the TiVo tax, kind of like the Apple tax. You're paying a premium for the name brand, to be honest with you. Does HDMI extender that comes with the Fire Stick extend? A little bit. It's more just, I don't know if they still sell it, to be honest with you, or if it still comes with the Fire Stick. I have one coming next week with the new Fire TV stick, but it basically just makes it so that if it doesn't fit into your HDMI port, helps make that better. What are my thoughts on the Amazon recast? Well, I have one on pre-order. I will begin that in November to review it. My thoughts on it, it's a good idea. It's basically a Tableau DVR. It's basically copying all the ideas of the Tableau DVR, but it doesn't work with many devices. It basically works with Fire TV, iOS, and Android, and that's it. Lacking support for laptops. I, over the weekend, had my laptop on my Tableau TVR tuner to watch one while I streamed on another TV. That's a major holdback. The ability not to watch it on Roku, I think, is going to really limit the market share. But Amazon, they want to tie you into everything. So it's not a bad idea. We'll have to wait until I can actually get my hands on it and see how it works. The concept I like. I just wish it supported more devices. At least have Windows or a browser version so I can use it on a Mac or a Windows or a Linux laptop so that when I'm traveling on the road, I just have my laptop, I can watch it there. I'll just keep that in mind. Can View sell their platform to another streaming service that doesn't carry the channels they have? No. Could View spin their service off and sell it to somebody else? Yes. Could they just sell it and merge it into Sling? Probably not. They would. I'm not sure how contracts work, but it doesn't seem like that would work there. Best streaming for Chromebooks. PlayStation View now supports it. Sling TV, I want to say, supports it. I have a Chromebook, but I don't really use it a lot anymore. I have a Windows laptop I now primarily use because I need the software on it. Love Chromebooks though. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, pretty much all works on it. What happened to Spotify and Roku? Spotify and Roku is coming back next month with the Roku OS 9 with a brand new Roku channel and everything. Spotify will be on Roku again. Coming to Roku players next month, Roku TVs in January. How do I stop my stick from losing Wi-Fi? Try to move your antenna closer to it, your transmitter. And make sure, sometimes I find people like cram their stick in with a bunch of metal. Try to just dangle it as far away from the TV as possible. I have a Chromebook, but my Dish Anywhere doesn't work. Oh, I didn't realize that. Sorry to hear that. Time to get a streaming service. Pluto TV apparently works on Chromebooks, so keep that in mind. Any chance Apple Music will be supported on Google Chromecast audio? I wouldn't hold your breath. Apple is not notorious for doing that kind of stuff. And Google may not want it, to be honest with you. Does Apple Music work on Echo devices? Somebody help me. I know a ton of different music like Pandora works on it and Spotify and so forth. But does Apple Music work on Echo devices? I don't know. Let me know. Why did you switch the Pixel? What was wrong with S9? Oh, I cannot go on and on about why I love the Pixel. 3 reasons I love the Pixel over the S9. No Bixby. So Bixby is an audio assistant that I don't know if Sony or Samsung owns or whatever, but they partner with it. They try to use it to replace your your Google Assistant with it, and it's unbelievably annoying. There's a button on it. No matter how many times I would disable the button, every time they updated it, they would auto reactivate the Bixby button. There's just so much gunk on the S9 of miscellaneous software and stuff that the Pixel doesn't have. Some of the weird things that, for instance, with the Pixel, the phone app on it is much better. It has the ability to do stuff like tell you if a call is suspected spam, turns the whole screen red, and lets you know about it. With the S9, that was a monthly service fee. I would have to pay a fee. The Pixel, for instance, if I get a call from a number not on my list, it will Google that number and say, oh, you're getting a call from your doctor. Like if my doctor was in my phone, I would get a call from them. It would say, oh, whatever medical place, and so on will just appear on the thing for free. I really love it. So you know how the Facebook little chat icons pop up on the screen? When you're using your phone and you're on a phone call, a similar little chat icon will appear. You can click on it to change things. It's better in every way. The software is better. I actually think most of the things about the hardware is better. The screen's maybe not quite as bright as the S9, but I think overall the Pixel just kills the S9 in every possible way out there. It's just not a competition. I don't think I'll ever go back to a Samsung device. I'm just going to say Pixel. I had a Pixel 1. I broke it. I got the S9, and I immediately regretted it. It's got so much bloatware. It's got so much crud on it. It's got that annoying Bixby. Things that are free on the Pixel, like I said, like the caller ID feature, the ability to get spam notifications is free in the Pixel, a monthly fee with the S9. So, and the updates just come so much faster with this. All right, get your last questions in here, and I'll do my best to answer it. Is there professional antenna installers? Yes, Dish will do that for you. They actually have a special phone number. You can't call the main Dish phone number, or they won't know what to do. I just put a link in the chat here where you can call Dish for $100 inside or $150 for an outside, which includes the cost of antenna. The antenna costs about $100, so basically you're paying $50 for Dish to come and install it. Of course, you get the great Dish customer service. I was very impressed. Called the next day they came, and you get the one thing about Dish techs is they know how to install dishes in homes, and installing antennas is basically the same thing. So I put the link there. It's a lot cheaper. A lot of other places I saw, like Amazon in my area, was $250 to get an antenna installed. Didn't include the cost of the antenna. Where with Dish, I was able to get it done for $150. So just keep them in mind. Yeah, Tubi. Mule says he watched some really good movies on Tubi this weekend. Improved audio, video, very few ads. Yeah, Tubi is one of the best free on-demand services out there. Richard, I agree with you. If people only knew how easy cord cutting was, it would be a lot bigger. But we're doing everything we can to let people know about cord cutting and hopefully help them cut the cord. So, fingers crossed. Hey, I'll take like one more question. One or two more questions. So get your question in real quick. If I haven't answered it, re-ask it. What picture quality do you like out of PlayStation V, YouTube TV, DirecTV Now, and YouTube TV? I think they're all the same, honestly. I think the picture quality, they're all, for the most part, 1080p. Some of them will have 60 frames per second on some channels. YouTube TV pretty much has all their channels now at 60 frames per second, where DirecTV Now and Sling and PlayStation View has pretty much all sports channels, where it really counts, but not all channels at that rate. Is HDR better picture than regular cable? Yes, regular cable HDR will make it look just unbelievably bland. Should Tableau save place in I'm not sure I understand the Tableau question, so let me know. Where do I buy groceries? Kind of depends on the week. Who has the best deals? I don't know. Where can I save some money? All right, so I think we're going to call it right there. Hey, thanks everybody. Sorry missing the last week. Hopefully I'll be 100% over my cold next week. Shouldn't, knock on wood, press particle board, that shouldn't have anything mess with our weekly Q&As until Christmas. We'll see. Thanks everybody for being here. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. A lot of new people. If you're new here, please subscribe. Every week we're releasing all kinds of cord cutting news, tips, tricks, reviews, how-to guides, and Q&As. Every Saturday we do weekly recap shows where we talk about the biggest stories in the world of cord cutting. I would really appreciate subscribe. 35,000 people subscribe to the channel. Unbelievable. Can't believe that. We're on our way to 100,000. Help me out. Let's go hit 100,000 subscribers. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell them to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And hey, if you ever want to help, not just my YouTube channel, but any YouTube channel, one of the best things you do, hit that thumbs up. When I watch YouTube channel, I always hit the thumbs up now on all the videos I watch, because YouTube will, depending on the number of people who interact with the video by hitting that thumbs up, more people will see that video. So if you ever want to help a YouTuber and you don't want to donate, hit that thumbs up. It's a huge help. So I hope everybody has a great night. I hope you have a great week. Of course, check out cordcuttersnews.com where we post daily stories, 5, 10, sometimes 15 stories. We posted a ton today, so go check it out. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a absolutely fantastic week. We would really appreciate your support. I will see you next week. Thanks, everybody.